Yo, what's going on, folks? It's me, Justin, and it's time for an update. We're floating in space today, boys and girls. This is the Great Translation. It's essentially an expansion to the million word case study. So check this out. All right. So first off, look at these two little screenshots from Ahrefs. Right. What is the difference between these two sites? And I'm gonna apologize in advance. I went to bed about 2 a.m. last night, woke up about 6:30 and got back after it because I'm just that pumped to knock this shit out. But you look at these two sites, you go, wow. Well, the first site is mine. And the second site is in the exact same niche, covering the exact same topics, but it's in Spanish, right? So looking at this, all right, I got a DR33. They have a DR fraction, right? Their backlink profile, absent. Their keywords are about half of mine. But the organic traffic is probably 3/4. Like, they are getting 3/4 of the traffic from just being one of the few people that are talking about the same niche, but in Spanish. Right? I got some more screenshots here just to show, like, wow. You look at these, the search volume. I just picked two kind of, decently voluminous. I don't know if that's a defined word, but you know what I mean when I say that. Trending is going up. There is no it's not difficult to rank for this stuff because, again, you have that the site like the previously shown that's ranking first and second and third for keywords like this, that are getting thousands of searches per month, and they're not like silly keywords. They're not like maybe not silly, they're not the right word, but they're not informational keywords. They are commercial intent keywords for the most part. I mean, they're not exactly, but they're more commercial than just like, oh, I just want to do some research. No, they're like, hey, I want to make some action or do some actions. Buy, sell, something along those lines. So it's time for the Great Translation. This will be the next few months. Emails, tired, boom, that's done. Now, converting these articles that are already existing and already performing and bringing in traffic in Skrilla and translating them from English into additional languages. I have a few listed here: Spanish, French, Portuguese, German, Russian. I've translated a few articles in the past, some into French, some into Tagalog, which is the language they speak in the Philippines, just because those two, I don't know, it made sense to translate them, right? There's a huge audience for this product in the Philippines. There's a huge audience for this product in the French community. So it made sense to translate them. But the problem is, well, it's pretty damn expensive to translate. Like, I think I translated 6 articles into French and ended up spending like, I don't know, $450 or something like that. Like, it's like $75 an article, which, I mean, realistically, it's not terrible because I definitely recouped the investment there, but it's still like, damn, $75. I don't even know if they're right. I don't speak French. I'd have to, hire somebody else to come and look at that and go, hey, yeah, this is actually correct. And even then, I don't know if they're right. And I don't speak any of these other languages. I don't speak Spanish. Como se dice? No fucking idea. French, Portuguese, I don't speak any of that. I don't know. Nostrovia. That's what I know as far as those languages go. So it's tool time. That's Jesus. I am very tired. That is Tim the Toolman Taylor from Home Improvement. So found basically this all this kind of stems from finding, again, this site on the bottom here. I don't know how or why I stumbled upon it. I could probably go look at my search history and be like, oh, this is what I'll search for beforehand. That's how I found it. But looking at that, going, all right, I know they're making money, because I'm making money. We're talking about the same exact thing. There's no way they're not making money. It's not possible. But again, I don't speak those languages, and I know getting a translator is pretty expensive. So I did some research, and I realized that there's a couple tools out there that can help me in this journey I'm on. So the first one is DeepL Translator. There's the website deepl.com, and I put in capital L just because I didn't want to look like an I. But basically, it's like a juiced up, like, we'll say, premier version of like any translation software. This is the translation software to use if you're trying to translate anything. They have a few different languages. They have a ton of language options, actually. I have it pulled up over here. I'm not going to go to you. If you want to explore it, you can explore more. But the DeepL translation, at first I was going to do it manually and literally just like copy sections from articles into the translator and then copy them back into new posts and then just like publish them as I went. And then perhaps also go down the deep, dark path of hreflangs. Yeah, I think that's the translated articles are like different language variation of posts, and when somebody clicks on one but they're in this country, it takes them to that post, because whatever the case is. I think it's something lang, hreflang, let's say. Do that whole sinister process, which is a big old pain in the ass. I was like, there has to be an easier way. There has to be an automated way you can do this. There has to be a WordPress plugin for this. There has to be. This is not new software. And I found it. Neuronto, I believe is how it's pronounced. Basically, a plugin. You can it connects to the DeepL Translator API. You can literally one-click translate posts. Again, it just reaches out, boom, translates it, boom, and you can see it's not expensive at all. The reason why this number is so high is I'll explain that next slide. But at an average of like 7 characters per word, that's like 350,000 words that were translated. It only cost $61. Again, I'll explain that this was a huge error, mistake, my bad. But you know, that's kind of the thing, whatever. And then I think in the future, once I start actually seeing these ranking, or you know, I actually get a good workflow in, I'm gonna plan on hiring a bilingual VA to go and make sure the articles are read appropriately, or they read appropriately, or they're written appropriately. I think Spanish and Portuguese will be pretty inexpensive to hire somebody that can do that. I think French and Portuguese will be, or French and German will be a little bit more expensive, just you know, based location, whatever. And depending on how the next few months go, Russian might be incredibly inexpensive as well. So some problems that I've ran into so far. Silly me. So there's an option in Neuro. I'm just gonna call it Neuronto. I'm gonna call it Neuro. So there's an option in the plugin like settings where you can like one click translate all your posts, all your pages, all of it. So I did that, and then I clicked the button again. So it was trying to, that's why I have, you know, 2.5 million characters or whatever used, because it tried to go in and auto translate all my posts twice into Spanish, and it basically bricked my site for 45 minutes. I could not access database connection error nonstop. I had to basically go into like the files on the server, delete plugin, so it'd stop fucking trying to generate all this stuff. And yeah, it was a big old pain in the butt. Had to spend, I went to bed at like 2 a.m. Woke up at 6:30 again this morning because I had to go in and just like start deleting not only duplicate posts, but also messed up posts, hence bullet point number 2 on here. So had to wake up, continue deleting all these duplicates, and also posts that weren't translated at all, because they were using reusable blocks to be built, basically the verses or article or alternatives to articles, since they're again made with reusable blocks. Those aren't I guess rendered, we'll say, appropriately, so they wouldn't translate them. Also, some of the posts that were translated were like completely just wonked, like they're 2,500 word articles that were because it's all the articles in Gutenberg, it doesn't really work that well with Gutenberg. So they turn out to like 30,000 words, and they're just like the same. Like it basically take the article and repeat it like 8 times. So that's kind of a pain in the ass. So in the future, if I ever want to, well, in the future, when I translate the verse and the alternatives to articles, those are like, way bottom of the totem pole. They will need, all those reusable blocks will be needed converted into gist blocks. And then, there's a lot of steps that would need to be taken. So the thing with this Neuro is that all the translated pages are created like using the classic editor and not in blocks, like Gutenberg blocks. And you cannot, for whatever reason, convert it to blocks easily. I'm sure there is a way, but I have to explore more. So I had to download like the classic editor so I can get in there and edit those. Another problem with it is because, it's using the blocks, the native WordPress language or whatever. Sometimes they'll translate the block. I don't know how to say this in a technically, proficient manner, but it was basically translating the code and not just the text on the screen. So, got to go into all those and just delete just chunks of like, I don't know, less than P's and paragrafio or whatever it was translating, Spanish paragraph. So that sucks. Any basically non-generic block is fucked also. Paragraphs, H2s, lists, links and all that. Those work. Images are fine. Videos are fine. Iframes are messed up. And I think it's just because it just ignores them. And then anything else like buttons are messed up. They just kind of convert them into text links, which isn't too bad. But text links are messed up. Any kind of sexy formatting, any kind of sections where the background text is a different color, or there's a container, or again, anything besides just a generic article, you know what I mean? It kind of just janks it all up. So I got to go in the ones that are actually good, the core pieces, the core articles, those are what I'm going to be focused on first. The reviews, information posts, things like that. Nothing with reusable blocks or anything. Got to go in and kind of beautify those as far as cleaning up all that janked up mess, make sure it actually reads properly, make sure shit just works. And other problem, last one, the million case study is more like 5 million words now. Just because, it's this will juice house on the word count. And hopefully, I don't know how this will kind of affect that going forward, because it's not like I can easily differentiate between languages and say like this, I basically have to divide by 2, more or less have to divide word count by 2. And that's what it's like core word count is. The cool thing I think about, well, at least with the whole Neutrino or whatever it's called, Naranto, it does put the translated posts in their own subfolders. So, .com/es/URL slug. For Spanish posts, or .fr for French posts, and down the line. So that is nice. So, there's that. But they're not all problems. We got some good in this. So now that I'm kind of going into, 2-year-old posts and cleaning them up, I'm adding more information to them. I'm updating content if it's like flagrantly out of order. Can add media, internal links, all these kind of things. That, just kind of what happens when you neglect a site, or rather not neglect it, but your focus is on adding more content as opposed to making the existing content, better and better and better. So I can go in again, look at those internal links. Got to convert. There are sections of the site of those information posts, like the summaries. I do have like a kind of a boilerplate text with what do I call it? Oh man, I'm lost here. Like a boilerplate with links to articles within the same category, because every it'd be like Salesforce. Here's a summary of Salesforce. Buy Salesforce here. Here's other articles we have about Salesforce, and you just have a list of all the articles. I can take those and now either put them throughout the article or well, that was a reusable block. I can convert that to just a regular block. So yeah, thought process is going crazy, especially with the translation thing. Like I don't know if reusable blocks are the move anymore as far as leaving them in articles as reusable blocks, or rather use them, pull that information, convert it to a normal block, and then publish. And then right, but that's for down the line when I do the verses in alternatives. I'll go in and update all those like blocks to logo, call to action, information up to date. Cool. This is the final version. We're not going to be updating these anymore, at least here. So there's that. Oh my gosh, I'm so exhausted. I apologize. I feel like I'm just rambling. And also, I'm going in and as I'm figuring this out and doing all these things, I'm also simplifying these older articles as well. Like, well, you can read here. Do I need buttons? Or will text call to actions work? Do I need these kind of sexy layouts that really look good on desktop, but when 75% of my traffic is from mobile, do I need I don't know, like a top 5 graph where it has like a summary section at the top? Is that really necessary, or can I just have a list? Here's our top 5, here's why, and then a list of hyperlinks and with additional text. Kind of just simplifying things, making it easier to consume, and also making it easier to translate. Yeah, so yeah, it's this could be pretty damn good. This could be good to go. Like I said, additionally, or last, the problem is that I don't speak these languages. So I don't know if I think from what I've researched on DeepL, the translation is pretty damn good, and this content isn't, academic level writing. This is very much conversational. It's simple topics, simple content. Hopefully it works. And if it doesn't, well, I'm still publishing new articles and new stuff coming in. I think once I get the workflow down, and once I get these first few articles cleaned up that are already translated and all that, I'll train my VA to get in there and start updating as well. So yeah, we're getting after it. This is the great translation.